Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to What She Said. It is the weekend, officially the weekend. Uh-oh, I see frozen on my screen. Let me know if I'm frozen. On the screen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It does look frozen. Okay. My screen is frozen. I look frozen. Am I frozen? All right, let's see what we got. I think I get it. Okay, y'all, I seem to be frozen on the screen. Not sure. I think I understand why too. Let's see. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can come back. All right, so I am frozen on the screen. All right, I think I know why. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so my screen was frozen. My screen was frozen. I think I might know why. Welcome, welcome, welcome to What She Said. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I hope everybody had a good week. I know I did. I watched the combine today, not all of it. I watched them run the 40. It was good. I had a chance to see Travis. He didn't work out. Had a chance to watch some interviews. Jimmy Horn Jr., LaJonte did really, really, really well. And Shedeur was interviewed by so many different people, different outlets, different reporters. He did really well. He was very comfortable. So we're going to get into it. And tonight is, where is it? Tonight is game night. Game nights. All right. So y'all know how that works. That's when I share a tag. And if you got your culture up, you have to guess what it says, like hashtag WYM. You know what that is, right? So you get the concept. That's what it is. First, I want to say welcome to everyone. I see there's 5 of us here. Yay. Hit the like button for me. If you can't hang out long tonight because it's Friday, show us some love. Say hi. Drop an emoji. Wave. Hit the like button. And if you got to go, hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate it. All right. So I prepared a great podcast for us. Have a great conversation around the NFL Combine, our guys from Colorado, and the NFL Draft. So y'all know I generally have some information about the draft to share on my analysis and my take on things. Let's see here. Let me make sure I have notes. Let me get to my notes. All right. So my intro for tonight, Cam Newton. So Cam Newton actually did a really good job of doing a segment on Shedeur today, and there was no hate. I was like, oh, his relationship must be in a good place. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, him and his boo were actually singing their little dance. That's my boo, that's my bae. I was like, okay, he's happy that they out with their relationship. So, maybe that's the reason there's no hate on Shedeur. But either way, I was happy that there was no hate on Shedeur. What Cam was talking about was how earlier this week, there were several people, analysts, when I say people and they, analysts, reporters, journalists, podcasters, yada, yada, yada. They were what? When they found out Shedeur wasn't going to throw at the combine, they were trying to make a big deal out of it, right? And it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal at all. And that's what Cam's segment was about on his 4th and 1. He did a good job. He talked about how Shedeur doesn't have to throw. He said, in fact, when I went to the combine, I stunk up the place and I still got drafted really high. I think maybe number 1. He won the Heisman. He said, so me not doing so well at the combine didn't change my path. So he said Shedeur doesn't have to throw. He said that's subjective if you want to throw or not. And another guy said it, Dan Patrick. He said the new normal is the top athletes, the elite top 5, top 10. Seems like top 10. They don't work out at the combine. Travis didn't work out. I saw him today. Shedeur didn't work out. Now Jimmy Horn and LeJohntay, those are the example of the players who want the combine invite so they can show improve. And in Jimmy Horn Jr.'s interview today, he spoke on that. He's like, I can't wait to get out there and run. And they want to know what he was going to run. He said, you're going to see. So our guys are media trained. LeJohntay was excited. He did well with his media interviews as well. Bucky was there for everybody. Bucky is that guy that shows up for you. We all should have a friend like Bucky who shows up for you and who essentially is in the crowd making you feel comfortable and cheering you on. So we're going to talk about that. So I was proud of Cam Newton. He actually gave an objective take about Shedeur, saying he doesn't have to throw. He talked about his own experience at the combine. At some point, it didn't go as well, and it did not change the path for him in the draft, and didn't change anything. In fact, I heard someone say that the combine is really about, are you really 6'3"? So the medical part of it, seems like it was yesterday, and they said it was a long day yesterday because they had to do the medical part. So apparently the combine is the first time that the teams get to physically assess you. Are you really 6'1"? Are you 5'11" or are you 5'9"? Depending on your position, it does matter. Running backs can be a little lower than 6 feet. Quarterbacks, they like for them to be tall, but there are quarterbacks that have been 5'10", 5'11". Kyler Murray is one of them. Drew Brees, another. Russell Wilson. We talked about that yesterday. And I like how they basically laid it out. You're not going to figure out much with throwing the ball 10 times. So what they really wanted to know is the medical. How healthy are you? How tall are you really? What's your real height? That's the type of thing that they wanted from the combine. So it makes sense, right? And then we talked about, like, they asked, basic questions. The reporters do, right? But Cam talked about how invasive the questioning from the teams are. So when you get one-on-one with these teams or 1-on-3 with their staff or whatever, Cam actually said you can feel like you're being attacked at some point because of the type of questioning that they ask you. Like, he said they were like, well, how good is your relationship with your father, really? He said, oh, they're going to ask you about your brother, your sister, and your girlfriend. And I was like, okay. Coach Prime said it. He said they looking into everything. So Cam confirmed it, and Cam was like, what do you mean? What kind of relationship I have with my father? And then it was basically like, well, when you were at Florida, there was speculation about you here. When you were at Auburn, there was speculation about you here. When you were at a JUCO, there was speculation about you here. So character, how you conduct yourself. And I'm sure one of the things when it gets into girlfriends, the elephant in the room, Travis's situation, very, very, very public. And, Travis said all he would say about his interview. He didn't say who it was with. I talked about what was made publicly about who he met with. But he said after the interview, which in these conversations I heard don't even last any more than 20 to 30 minutes. And if they can get all that out of you in 20, 30 minutes, they have a lot of information. So it seems that Travis said after his interview, the team he spoke with, they were talking about fishing for about 20 minutes post-interview, post-conversation. So I don't know if they asked him about his girlfriend or his situation, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did. And one of the things I can see being a plus is that he did shut down his social media and kind of keep her out of conversation so that by the time he goes to these meetings, it's not like all over the place still like it was. But I'm pretty sure they probably had a conversation about it. So with medical being over, the cornerback day being over, I don't know who's still there. I'm thinking maybe Shedeur is going to stay around until LeJohntay and Jimmy Horn Jr. complete their day. I don't know. I know people say they might be done by Saturday. I don't know if Travis is still there or not. He like I said, he didn't work out with the cornerbacks. And I don't know if he might be there tomorrow. He might be there tomorrow with the wide receiver shirt on. I'm thinking he should be. So I'm just thinking, even though Travis and Shedeur are not working out, they're still going to hang out for the guys and support and encourage them. The audience erupted today because one of the players, I think, ran like a 4.29. So the audience is very, very, very involved in it. So having people cheer you on is actually really good. So I'm thinking Travis and Shedeur may still be there for Jimmy and LeJohntay. So with that being said, the guys did really well. Shedeur, is that guy. I actually put a video together with Jimmy Horn Jr.'s interview, but it was too long. So I couldn't upload it. It was taking me a while. So I might work it into a actual, just like a long form video for you guys, because it's actually a really good interview. So let's see who's in the comments. Let's see. First of all, let me take this logo. Turn some music on too. I always like to have music on. So there we are. Shedeur, he said what he said. He had an excellent interview. He had his hat on at the time. I realized after the fact, because I was like, how did he wear his hair today? I didn't see it. Then I realized, he had on the cap and he had it turned to the back. And there was some conversation today about his swag on one of the big box shows. We're going to talk about that. Shout out to Shady McCoy. And I think James might be the other guy. They did a really good job of, in my opinion, not defending, but explaining to Chase and maybe the other guy that Shedeur was being himself, and that's what he should be. They shouldn't expect him to keep his personality hidden. Shady said they want the rookies. Bring that personality to camp. Don't show up to camp like, I'm hang back. I'm just trying to fit in. Yeah, don't do any of that. So there's a lot there. So let's see who's in the comments. Let's see. We have a new member. Yay, yay, yay. Let me put on some music. Gotta put on some music. Welcome, Darlene Thomas. Welcome. I'm so excited. I actually created a welcome song. I've been playing with that app again. So I might have to play it later, but it was hilarious. It sounds like a choir singing. So I was like, oh my God, this is funny. Let me see if I can play it. So y'all know me, impromptu. So I put this song together. I want to see, can y'all hear it? This is the welcome song. Oh, let's see. Okay, I gotta look. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on one second. It's cute. All right, y'all. It's two of them. Which one was it? All right. Let's see. That's the reggae song I told y'all about. Okay, that's the actual one. This is the welcome song.
Welcome to the vibe. It's a brand new start. What she said, a podcast. Let's ignite your heart. Friends and family gathered, we're a loving crew. Sharing life, our stories, there's room for you. Join the circle, now let's start the chat. You members last, did I handle that? Welcome, welcome, hear the stories unfold. What she said, a podcast, let the truth be told. Friends and laughter in the space we thrive. You members, your voices, feeling so alive.
So it goes on to this big applause, and it's welcoming you to the podcast. So welcome, welcome, welcome to the family. Welcome, Darlene Thomas. I appreciate it. I saw earlier, I said, I responded to her comment. I was like, what? She said, I joined the podcast. I was so excited. So that's our 6th member. I am so excited. There's room for more. So I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Darlene Thomas. So welcome. I hope you feel like you are family. We have friends and family, but I just feel like everybody's family. So maybe you family on my mom's side instead of my dad's side. So y'all make Darlene feel real welcome to the family. I appreciate it. Hey, 22, welcome. Welcome back. Welcome back, 22. Glad to have you as always. D. Johnson, welcome as well. Welcome. Everyone, peace and joy in the chat. Thank you, Kiel. Thank you. Thank you. 400 Circle Media. Hey, what's up? How you doing? It said they do a federal investigation. That's why the questions are not football related. What? Oh, now that's different. Okay. I didn't know that. Okay. All right. That's interesting. So they actually do that's why Coach Prime said they're going to look into you. That's what he meant. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So, all right. A federal investigation. I wonder what kind of stuff they typically find out. Like, I mean, what kind of stuff are they like trying to find out? Like, do you have a record? Are they trying to find out if your girlfriend is a stripper? What they trying to find out? Like, what are they trying to understand? Are you involved in some type of credit card fraud or stuff? Like, what kind of information do they want to know? But Cams did say it'll feel like an attack at some point. So, Kiel, feel free to share. Coach Dre, I don't know if he's here. Feel free to share. Anybody else that has any insight, feel free to share. I had no idea it was a federal investigation, but I understand because I'm getting ready. The NFL is getting ready to invest millions upon millions, double-digit millions in a lot of cases. You're an investment, and that's how people need to look at it. So the way you live your life, they want to know what you have going on. So if anybody could derail, disrupt, or have a situation where the NFL would be embarrassed or incur a loss with their investment. So I'm sure they wanted to know what's really going on. But I had no idea it was federal. Okay, interesting. Okay, that's very interesting. Thank you for that insight, Kiel. Thank you. All right, so sure. So let's talk. I want to start game night. Let's start there. All right. So y'all know Black History Month, and I feel like everybody in this podcast audience appreciates, respects Black people and Black culture, which, as I said, is multifaceted, right? So, all right. This is the first clue. All right. This should be something that you can kind of get right away. Okay. Can y'all see the letters? The letters are B-I-B. I'm going to type them into the chat. And I'm going to give you the first clue. We say this all the time, especially to kids. I feel like it's a poem that you learn as a young Black kid. And it's a compliment, of course, but not just to one person. It's a compliment to all Black people. The letters are B-I-B. All right, so I'm gonna give y'all some time to think on that. Let me know if y'all need another clue. It's something that you hear. All little kids seem to learn this a poem involving this. No, it's a celebration of being Black. That's the best way I can say it. Yes, that's it. Herman got it. That is it. Yay, Herman got it. Okay, Herman, you got it. That's it. Black is beautiful. Excellent. All right, so Herman already got the first one. Wow. Okay, good. Correct. All right. Black is beautiful. I wonder if I have emojis. Yay! All right, so that's it. Correct. Way to go. All right. All right, that is it. All right, so let's talk about the interviews. So we talked about Cam Newton having a very positive segment about Shedeur today, no negativity. So let's get right into the interviews. It was Shedeur had interviews at the podium. However, he had interviews all over the place. There were reporters coming up to him, introducing themselves, asking for an on-the-spot interview. He went on the stage. I know I saw ESPN. There were others here, Sirius, radio, satellite, NFL. So he was definitely the man of the hour as well. And then there was Jimmy Horn Jr. and at the podium, and it went really well for him. And then it was also LaJohntay. It went well for LaJohntay as well. Now, let's start with Jimmy. Okay, so Jimmy Horn Jr., I didn't know. He has a tattoo that says the NFL logo on his arm. I had no idea. That was pointed out today in the interview. And apparently he's had that tattoo since he said the end of his freshman year. So they asked Jimmy about, Coach Prime, what Coach Prime means to him. He said he took me under his wing. So, we always thought about Travis as the other Sanders. But to be honest with you, we saw Coach Prime walk Jimmy, right up the aisle. So on Parents' Day, I think, something like that. Senior day. So Coach Prime took Jimmy under his wing. And I actually thought to myself, when Jimmy got the first invite, I said, I swear Coach Prime had something to do with this. That's how I feel. Because Jimmy was hurt. And I know a lot of people were upset that LaJohntay didn't get invited. But as you can see, he got his invite as well. So Jimmy said he will forever, always be grateful to Coach Prime. They asked Jimmy about his dad. Jimmy shouted out Bucky in the comments. Bucky in the interview, Bucky is actually that guy that I said we all need a friend like him. Because why? He was there not just filming. He was there actually kind of making them feel comfortable. So, I posted on my IG stories. They were at the barbershop right around the time of the Alamo Bowl. I think they were in San Antonio. It was LaJohntay, Travis, Jimmy Horn Jr., Bucky. They were all getting their hair cut ahead of the Alamo Bowl. And of course, Jimmy had his hair and he had the little Beijing spray, right? And then LaJohntay, I guess, what's his name? Bucky was calling out LaJohntay. And then Bucky goes up to basically Travis and asks him to get the Beijing, but he ain't going to get it. So it was just hilarious, the whole thing. So that became an inside joke. I can take you to Beijing if you want to. They're talking about the spray. So today, during their podium interviews, meaning LaJohntay and Jimmy, Bucky was right there and he actually brought it up. And you can see it made him feel comfortable. Jimmy opened up a bit. Same thing with LaJohntay. They were like, it's the inside joke. And Jimmy closed. He's actually very charismatic. He closed with basically saying, if you want to go, anybody want to go to Beijing, let me know. I get you a first class flight. So even though the audience didn't understand what was being said, it was the inside joke. It was really good. It wasn't boring at all. Jimmy opened up. LaJohntay opened up. They asked LaJohntay about his medallion. He said, I know to y'all this is just a chain. He said, it says Ben 1, BEEN, and the number 1. He said, this is a trophy for me. He said, I wear it as a reminder that I've been him. He said, sometimes I could be in a situation where I don't feel like I'm him. He said, it's just a reminder. And he talked about how he was frustrated. I didn't know this. I did not know this. He experienced frustration at Colorado because he was used to being the go-to guy at his previous university. But he transferred in. And then, you know, there's Jimmy, there's Travis, there's LaJonte, and there's Will Shepherd. So he had to share the ball. So he was just shy of 1,000 yards. And he said he had to basically calm himself down, talk himself off the ledge a little bit because he was upset about it. He said then he kind of had to learn, you know, it's going to be like this in the league. It's not going to be just you, you know. And Jimmy talked about how that's the one thing about Colorado. He said Coach Prime is running like an NFL pro style offense and defense. You know, it comes with a lesson every day when you have your meetings, not just the schemes that they're doing, but, you know, you're not going to be the only one to get the ball. And Jimmy talked about that. He said, yeah, you know, I wasn't the only one to get the ball. He said, but I'm a team player, so I'm okay with that. But then LaJonte said, yeah, I did experience that frustration. But then I had to understand this is how it is in the NFL. So basically, these guys are ready. Shedeur played under 6 different offensive coordinators or something like that. He's ready to go to whatever team and adapt to what they have going on. Jimmy and LaJonte are ready to go to whatever team that they're going to go to. And if they go, let's say they go mid-second round, okay? I mean, they might not be the only receiver to catch the ball. They might not be like Joe Burrows and Jamar Chase. They might have to be like they were at Colorado. They might be a Travis Hunter. You know, like, let's say if somebody goes to the Giants. Well, they already got Malik Neighbors. So I don't know if you're going to get the ball as much if the Giants want to go to Malik Neighbors. So they've had to learn, hey, this not high school. And I know it's college, but the way we play right now, the way things go on this team, the quarterback get all the love. Travis, the receiver, the star receiver, gets all the love. So you got to be happy and on go when you get the ball. You can't have an attitude in the NFL and feel like when Malik Neighbors getting the ball too much, you ain't gonna get the ball at all. And that's essentially what they both learned. What all 3 of them, Will Shepherd too, learned at Colorado. So I just wanted to say that. Let's see who's in the comments. Coach Prime has prepared them well for public speaking. Yeah, they did a good job. I was thinking about that too. I said, I wondered if they practiced because I thought they did really good. And you could see at first, like Jimmy Horn Jr. said, he wasn't that comfortable in front of the camera when he first got to Colorado. He said, but now, you know, it seems like second nature. He said, shout out to Bucky. You know, he said that guy right there is who got us all comfortable. So that's just another aspect of them being ready for the NFL because you do have to answer and interview with reporters even after y'all lose, get your butt kicked, or if you win. And that's something that they're going to be okay with. They did very well in the interviews. They did. I wish I could get this video up here, but I'm going to see if I got it. But I had to cut it. It was too long. It was too long. But it was good, though. So, I don't know. Let me see if it came up. But, you know, my thing is, I like how Bucky, I know Shedeur is his brother. But to me, he treats Jimmy, Travis, and LaJonte, he treat all of them like little brothers. Before they left to go to Indianapolis, I heard Bucky say in his interview before they left, when Florida was working out right before I guess they were all packing up. He said, yeah, I already talked to Travis. He good. You see? And Travis actually said he talked to Bucky and Shiloh more than he talked to Shedeur. So, you know, my thing is, Bucky seems to be that big brother and not just to his own siblings. You know, he seems to kind of be the one guiding these guys. He's standing right there in the audience, you know, laughing with them, smiling so they could be comfortable. You know, Shedeur was asked the question. They asked him about somebody else. He said, I'm here to speak about myself, you know, and he did it nicely. I don't know sometimes where these reporters be going. And Shedeur, at some point, I could see a little Coach Prime in him when one reporter asked him about what would he do on 3rd and 8. And Shedeur was like, what team you with? It was Coach Prime. He did a little Coach Prime voice. Y'all know how he imitate Coach Prime? He came out with that little Coach Prime voice. At one point, I saw Shiloh in him. And I was like, you know, wow, you know, just to see that. And everybody's like, you know what? He's officially grown. I mean, we know he's grown, but he's out here on his own. It's not like Coach Prime is somewhere telling him what to say. And one reporter actually went to him, the one that she introduced herself to, Shedeur, and she said, "Hey, I want to ask you a question. This, that, and the other." And all I could hear was the response. He said, "Well, it's not like my dad is in my ear in the microphone telling me what to say." He said, "I make my own decisions." And he laughed and went on to the next interview. He was working that room. If we thought he worked that room in New Orleans, he was working that room. He is not bothered by cameras. He's not camera shy. He doesn't get frustrated. If they want to interact, he speaks to everyone. If they shake his hand, he shake hands right back. He can do that all day and don't get tired. It's the same way he was in New Orleans. He works the room. So, I don't know whoever gets him. When I told y'all he's the most NFL ready quarterback, you see what I'm talking about. Now, Cam did good too. His interview was good. His interview was business style, in my opinion. Asking questions, firing off answers. I thought he did really well. Again, Cam and Shedeur, you could take either one of them. They both gonna be successful. What we hope as fans of theirs is that they meet up in the playoffs at least, or if not the Super Bowl. But we want Jalen Hurts to go back one more time. So that's what we hope for. So Cam and Shedeur, they did well in their respective interviews. I think when it came time to have a discussion with the facility, they were having a discussion. And this is where I felt like Shady McCoy and James, he's on the end, were having a conversation. Acho and Joy weren't there. Some people say they was in the principal's office. I don't know what's going on over there. But Chase and another man were. So it seems like Shady was making a case that Travis should go number 1 overall. Basically saying that, that's a good guy. He's good on the field, but he was talking about his off the field life. Remember, I told you that's important too. And he said, this is a player that you want. He said, because what does he do? He go to practice, he go to recovery, he eat, and he spend time with his lady. That's it. So he was basically saying his personal life is another aspect of Travis's being all around NFL ready player that any franchise should want. But then on the flip side, Shedeur had to actually answer a question about his music, and they really wanted to know how serious was he about the music, as if maybe he like Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard was that player for the NBA, if y'all don't know, who was in Portland for a really long time. Some people say he stayed there way too long. He was too content, never won a ring with them. But he made music and he was serious about it, serious about it. So they were checking Shedeur's temperature to see how serious he was with his music. He said, well, I go to practice, I come home, I have a lot of time by myself. He said, so for me, that's just a way to decompress. He said, it's not meant for public consumption. I'm not, he's not out here trying to drop an album or anything. So he had to basically explain that. So I wonder, with all of his new music coming out, it seemed like they really wanted to know, was he serious about football? And that's one of the things that Louis Riddick talked about with Cam Ward. I listened to him the other day, and he said he thinks Cam Ward is the better number 1 because why? He went to Incarnate Word. He was a 0-star to Miami. He got his draft stock up from last year. He would have been a $4 million contract. Now he's about $35 million, could be $39, could be $40 million quarterback. And he said, and this is what stuck with me. He said, and he's serious about playing football. I was like, now what make him say that? What make him say that? So, that was the horse in the race that he chose, and then the facility, once they moved off Travis, they went on to Shedeur. And this where it got a little, because see, Chase actually didn't think Travis should be the number 1 overall pick. His argument, which I don't agree with, was, when was the last time, if ever, a corner or a wide receiver was the first overall? I'm like, that's not a good argument. Just because it's never been done doesn't mean it should not be done. So I feel like Travis could be the number 1 overall player. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but it is interesting, some of Chase's takes. And I feel like he's a decent guy, but I feel like he's biased. And I think his takes, they can't ever seem to be objective. So when it came to Shedeur, he was sitting there like this. Body language is everything. He was sitting there like this before he got ready to answer, and Shady even said, "Oh, you done fold your arms." Shady was saying, Shedeur is who he is. He chose to go on that podium and be himself. And James basically agreed, and they talked about how Shady said when I guess he played with Aaron Rodgers, they were coming out the tunnel, and Aaron has the same swagger. He was just in the tunnel with it. He was like, "Hey, this on me. I got everybody. Let's go." Then they went to play the game. They talked about how it happened again, like Pat Mahomes. He said Pat Mahomes had the same type of swagger as Shedeur. He just tell it to me and not to everybody else. Or he might think it, but not say it. And that's where Chase caught on. He was like, well, maybe that's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm thinking Shedeur should just think it and not be it or say it. And then Shady and James totally disagree. And I totally disagree. And that's when Shady was like, we want these players. Bring your personality to camp. Don't come to camp trying to stay in the back, trying to figure out, how you're going to fit in. Be yourself. And that is the one thing you have to appreciate about Shedeur. One, he can work a room, which means he knows how to handle himself, including the media. He's not frazzled by any negativity that comes his way. He even said it when he was being interviewed. He said, "Do y'all really think I worry about what critics say?" He said, "I'm so used to it that if there basically are no critics, it's not even a normal situation if nobody's hating on us." He said it's because of the name, because of the family. And we talk about that on this podcast. So I believe that to be true. So Chase felt like Shedeur's swagger might be an issue. I'm like, bro, it's 2025. Move around with that. Move around with that. Shedeur Sanders is himself. People had an issue, some people, with his hat to the back. And I was like, I realized what he did. He covered up his braids. Now, I looked at Jimmy Horn Jr. He had his braids in full effect, and he looked great. Shedeur covered up his braids with the hat. Don't know why, not really reading anything into it, but some people had a problem with that. And that's one of the reasons why I think the braids were covered up, because if you have a problem with me in this casual atmosphere where we're talking about, I guess being an athlete and people out here running a 40-yard dash, I'm not clearly standing up here wearing a suit and tie. So essentially, if I have my hat on, or maybe something happened to my hair, I want to cover it up. Why would you take that as that's a character flaw? Why wouldn't you just assume, oh, maybe something happened to his hair? So they reading way too much in it, trying to discount him. And that's really what it is. And some people pointed out the only reason why they said Shedeur wasn't throwing at the combine and making a big issue out of it, it's just for clickbait. They said nobody said anything when Cam Ward announced that he wasn't working out. And that's how you know who the star is between the two of them. Shedeur Sanders. So there you go. It said they did very well in their interviews. Yes. It said, what I like about Shedeur, he always gives Jackson State credit. He did that. He said that like twice, at least twice. He said, you have to give credit to Jackson State because that's where it started. And he don't miss his words. And I appreciate him for that. In 22, you're absolutely correct. When he and Travis, after they won that TCU game, they were being interviewed. Both of them at the same time were talking about Jackson State. Saying that an HBCU kid could do it. And here it is, I threw for 500 yards against TCU, who was in the Natty last year. Isn't that something? Travis will be number one. He could be, but there's a new horse in the race for quarterbacks. And guess who it is? I give you a hint. It's where I'm from. The Saints. The Saints have entered the competition. They have a first round pick. Kellen Moore basically seems to be open to getting a new quarterback, but the GM of the Saints seems to be happy to have Carr return. So I don't know, but I got a sneaky feeling that Jalen Milroe might end up in New Orleans. I'm not going to tell y'all why just yet, but that's what I'm thinking. And it has something to do with Quenya Moore and Jalen Hurts. If you can figure out what it is, let me know. All right. So yeah, Travis might be number one, but that doesn't mean it'll be Tennessee. I still think Tennessee might trade that pick. Like I said, they had a couple of phone calls. Like I said, Jacksonville might want to move up to number one. Some people say, Shedeur could go to the Giants. I think the Giants could move up to number one. I mean, the Jets could move up to number one. And I don't know if the Raiders will move up to number one. And it's true. Remember yesterday we were talking about the Raiders and supposedly Tom Brady flirting on the cool talking to Matthew Stafford. So it was true, but it wasn't considered tampering because the agents had permission to talk. So Matthew Stafford's agent had permission from the Rams to talk to Tom Brady. And here's essentially what went down with that entire scenario. It seemed like somebody was bent out of shape, that those two were talking and thought that it was a secret, that they happened to run into each other. And that's not the case. It was planned. And the Rams kind of pulled the Giants stunt a little bit, which means teams do this. They were basically telling Matthew Stafford, the Rams were essentially telling Matthew Stafford, go out there and test your worth. Now, remember, that happened with Saquon Barkley, and it backfired against the Giants. Well, the Rams apparently have some sense because they said yesterday when it came out about the whole potential tampering in Tom Brady that, oh no, if anything, we expect Matthew Stafford to be a Ram next year. We just said he could talk to other people if that's what he wanted to do. We're not telling him he's not valuable. So they clarified it. They made sure Matthew Stafford know, we want you to be right here. But if you want $28 million and somebody want to give it to you, then okay. So they restructured his contract. I didn't look to see how much it was. He's still with the Rams. So that means the Raiders still need a quarterback, and the Giants actually put together a 9-digit offer for Matthew Stafford, but he ended up going back to the Rams. So I don't know. But with that being the case, I still don't know if the Raiders will move up. What I'm thinking is they're going to try to calculate. And there was a local podcast I watched called, it was a Raiders podcast. And they were talking about, is Shedeur Sanders and Coach Prime playing games, flirting with the Browns to try to make the Vegas Raiders trade up to get him? I said, no. So what you mean is, or the Browns flirting with Shedeur Sanders, trying to see if they could get him. I'm like, because they clearly didn't know that the Browns been hugging on Shedeur for a minute since the Shrine Bowl that we know of. They didn't know about the Shrine Bowl and the Browns asking Shedeur not to play. They didn't know about the meeting with the Browns meeting with Shedeur, Jalen Milroe, and Cam Ward. They just think that this is Coach Prime and Shedeur's doing, that the Browns are not as serious. And actually, they are. And I figured out one of the reasons why they decided to meet with Jalen Milroe. Y'all ready for this? All right. Some of y'all probably already know. Think about it. They met with Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. They are first two picks off the board for quarterbacks, first round. Jalen Milroe is projected to go second round, right? So what they decided was they probably talked to these guys to see, was it Shedeur and Cam, was it worth it to spend the $35 million or the $37 million that I got to spend to get them? Well, let me talk to Milroe because he might be $9 million for 4 years. So I could essentially go, you know what? I could trade this number 2 pick, or I could just get somebody else and drop down in the second round and get Jalen Milroe. They could actually do that. Remember, they still have Deshaun Watson next year. They still got to pay Deshaun Watson for $45 million next year. The insurance money is for this year. So while they get their money back this year, they still got to pay Deshaun next year. So am I really going to pay Deshaun $45 next year and Cam and Shedeur $35 this year? No. But I can pay Jalen Milroe $9 million this year. I'm sorry, maybe $6 million this year. And then pay Deshaun Watson his final $45 million. And that way, if Jalen Milroe works out, we can let Deshaun go. We can maybe even trade him next year. So I can see a case where the Browns get Jalen Milroe because of the cap. They have more room. They're not overextending themselves. And Jalen Milroe works with Deshaun Watson coming back next year, and then they get to figure out what they want to do next year. They could battle for it. If Deshaun beats Jalen, then I can deal Jalen. So Jalen Milroe is a better fit to go to the Browns due to the money in a Deshaun Watson scenario. Let me know y'all thoughts about that. So what that means is if that's what they decide to do, and they get Jalen Milroe in the second round, that means they can trade that second pick to the Saints, and the Saints can move up, and they can take Shedeur, or they can take Cam. So that changes the dynamic. Let me know what y'all think about that. So they always come up with that dynamic about us, but the issue will never change till we change, and we have changed it right now. I agree. Shedeur Sanders changed that. He did the right thing. By being himself, so charismatic. I don't know if it's gonna be the Raiders. I don't. The fact that they were willing to go shopping with Matthew Stafford, it kind of makes me think, yeah, I don't know about that. The Browns, I could see it, but the money not right. It's too much money for them. So the Saints could do it, regardless if it's Cam or Shedeur. However, the way that club is run and how they feel attached to Derek Carr, I think it could be a problem. So I don't know. It's just up there. I got to think about it. But I do feel like I solved the Browns dilemma. That the Browns could trade that number 2 pick, and they could trade it to the Jets, or they could trade it to the Raiders. So Tennessee and the Browns could both trade their picks, and that ends up with Cam and or Shedeur at 1 and or 2. That's the way I'm going. I just got to think about it more. And don't forget, we're going to do our mock draft panel. So I'll be ready. Shedeur to Tennessee. D. Johnson said Shedeur to Tennessee. Tennessee seems to like Cam Ward. I've looked at the comments in some of their sections. They okay with Shedeur, but they really like, I don't know what it is about Cam Ward, but they like him. I think they want Cam Ward to be the pick, and they feel like if it's still Will Levis, that they're going to revolt as a fan base. Herman said the Sanders men have charisma, humility, balance. Yeah, that allows them to shine, get uplift, and praise others. Facts. Because I watched Shiloh work out with the team he brought to Colorado. The lady and the man, the ones that do the timing for the combine, he brought them there. Recently, he signed 2 jerseys for them. He said, y'all came here for me, and y'all took care of me, even though he paid for it. He said, but y'all took care of me. Y'all showed me how to use this equipment. You didn't just drop it off and leave. They stayed there the whole time, helping him to understand, exactly what he needs to, how much time he needs to shave off of his 40, right? And I watched the cornerbacks work out today. The best time was 4.29 by this one guy that I'm gonna talk about because I like him. I actually saw he went to Kentucky. I can't remember his name right now. He went to Kentucky, and the highlights that I saw, there was a game he played against Vanderbilt. Guess who was the receiver at Vanderbilt that he kept posting up against? Will Shepherd. It's really good. I said if when I get time, I'm gonna try to save. I know I can't show it, but I think I can post the link in the comments and just tell y'all it's there and you go look at it. But the guy is really good. He ran the best 40-yard dash today. And I was thinking about Shiloh. I'm like, a 4.29, if you are 4.4 right now, I don't know if you could get to a 4.29 before pro day. But they said the other day that Shiloh ran his best 40-yard time since he started working out up there. So he's getting there. And he was grateful, gracious to the people that, ran against him so he could get better, gracious to the team that he brought up there so they could help him learn how to use this equipment and, understand the analytics and the best way for him to improve. So I agree. The Sanders, they some good guys. They really are. Bucky, hands down. It's like he looks after all of them. Even though they are not his brother, he looks after all of them, all those guys. He's not going to let anybody mess with them at all. So I agree with you, Herman. Hey, Clyde, welcome. All right, so it is time we got the first one, BIB, Black is Beautiful. All right, so we have another one. Let's see. Time for another. All right, let's see. Okay. This one, I think y'all should also get. All right. I like this one. All right. Okay. The letters are BDC. BDC. Okay. So I'm going to type them in the chat. And all right. All right. So here's the clue. This is what you say, and we say it a lot. When you see a black person, think Lorenz Tate. Think Morris Chestnut. What do people say about, think Method Man. What do people say about them? They don't even look like they age, right? So this is what you say. This is what you say when you see somebody, you compliment them, or, you know, you're like, man, Lorenz Tate looked like he did in Love Jones. He looked exactly the same. What do you say? This is what another person would comment. Well, you know. All right. So y'all got it. The letters are in the comment. This is what you say when somebody's like, man, I can't believe Method Man looked so young. All right. Yep, that's it. That's it. That's it. Herman and D. Johnson got it. That's it. Okay. We're doing good. We're doing good. All right. So that is correct. That is correct. Okay. We got that one. That was good. All right. I like that. Okay. So that's it. Black don't crack. All right. So, all right. All right. Let's see. Oh, first I wanted to, let's see here. All right. So it's time for me to play this song. Y'all know what it is. You can get you some snacks or you can listen to it. All right. So this is the song.
Yeah. Welcome fam, it's Survive. Break it down. Talking sports, hard hustle. Wear the crown. Subscribe to the journey. Don't sleep on the grind. Hit the like button. Come on, don't be blind. Welcome aboard. Let's make it loud. What you say? Rip her out of the crowd.
All right. So that meant it was a perfect opportunity. If you have not already, hit the like button. If you like the podcast, please subscribe. Shout out to my new subs. I also said that the goal I set for myself in this podcast is by the end of June to get to 5,000 subs. So if you come all the time and you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you're just hanging out for a little bit, hit the like button. If you can't stay long, hit the like button on your way out. But of course, if you come all the time, hit the like button on your way in. Now, this is where I want to also thank some of our members. I mentioned that we have a new member, right? And Darlene Thomas. And then I wanted to show a special shout out to the What She Said family, which is Gracie. I don't know if she's with us tonight, but she's always in the part of the reply gang now. And Kiel, thank y'all for being fam. I appreciate it. And friends of What She Said, we have Regina, who's one of the best moderators that we have. Her and Gracie are both moderators. And we have 400 Circle Media, who shows up daily. Thank you so much. And then we have Darlene Thomas, a new member. So if you are new to the podcast and you want to hang out for a bit, that's cool. But if you come all the time, become a member. It's easy. When you see the button that says join associated with the page, it'll say like join or notify me if we have like, we turn on notifications for the podcast. Join, turn on your notifications, because you never know. I have a segment that typically pops up late. It's called You Up. So make sure your notifications are on. So I just want to say thank y'all so much. And let's get back to the show. And yes, that was it. Black don't crack. Ha ha ha. So I appreciate Herman and D. Johnson for getting that one. All right. Let's see. All right. Let me tell y'all about, hold on one second, the guy that I watched earlier today. Hold on one second. I gotta find it. That might be up here. Is this him? I actually took a picture of the TV screen. That's how good it was. His name is, let me know if y'all heard of this guy, Maxwell Harrison. Hairston. He went to Kentucky. He was DB number 10. His first time was a 4.3, and I think his second time was a 4.29. He ran the best 40-yard dash out of all cornerbacks, right? So I went to look, and I'm like, okay, well, let me just see how this goes. Do you necessarily get drafted first if you're the best cornerback? One of the things Cam Newton talked about is you can be fast, but can you put it all together? So I'm like, well, I'm just trying to get a feel for where this guy's going to land because he's really good, especially when it comes to speed, right? So I watched his highlights. Again, there were some highlights with his school, Kentucky, against Vanderbilt, and he posted up against Will Shepherd a couple of times. And I'm thinking, man, this guy really could be like probably the best corner because his highlights are good. Y'all know how Travis is good at anticipating and jumping routes. He's really good at that too. And I was thinking to myself, he had like 19 touchdowns, a couple of interceptions. He had some good numbers. Watched him run. His film looks really good. I watched it twice. So I'm thinking, hell, he might be the first corner off the board. So I'm like, well, let me see what happened last year. So Quinion Mitchell plays for Philadelphia, and he was a rookie last year. He ran the fastest time. He was the first corner off the board at number 22. Now, remember what Chase said. Chase was like, when was the last time you saw a cornerback or a wide receiver go 1 overall? Now, I don't believe just because it's never been done, it can't be done. So I do think a corner like Travis could go really high. I think McMillan is one of the wide receivers I'm going to watch for him on Saturday, along with our guys, Jimmy and LeJontay. But this guy right here, Maxwell Hairston, I think this guy could probably go first or second corner off the board. So, it's possible. Last year, the fastest cornerback at about the same speed. No, he ran a 4.21. Xavier Worthy. He wasn't the first corner off the board. Quinion Mitchell was. Xavier Worthy, I think, was the second corner off the board at number 28. So 22 and 28. But they don't get drafted to almost, 3/4 of the first round or over with. So Travis is really fortunate to be a cornerback / wide receiver going that early in the draft. So that says a lot about Travis. So just wanted to put that out there. What does that say? L and A? Hey, Coach Dre. What does that mean? L and A? I'm waiting for Coach Dre to tell me what L and A stands for. Let's see. Looking for video. Let's see if I can find it. All right, so I probably didn't upload it. I'll have to probably show it tomorrow. I have to trim it. It was too long for Jimmy. It was a good interview that I thought Jimmy did. He shout out Bucky, talked about how much he appreciates Coach Prime. They asked me if he had talked to his dad. He said he's going to talk to him afterwards. I noticed his name was Jimmy Horn, and I noticed Shedeur referred to him as Jimmy Horn. So I wonder if in the NFL, he's just going to go by Jimmy Horn and not Jimmy Horn Jr. I mean, is that a big deal? Is that typical? I don't know if it's a sign of he's stepping in, his own shoes. Maybe his dad told him to do it. But that was something that I did notice. So if anybody have any thoughts on that. Okay, this is the last one I feel like. I think it's funny. Now, it's long, so y'all going to have to pay attention, right? I'll have to hold it up and type it in. Okay, so let me know if you can see these letters. Okay, I'm going to type them in. I'll type them in. I missed typo. Oh, okay. What were you saying? Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna have to type these letters in. Okay. Okay. All right, so that's the last one. I typed the letters in there just in case. All right, so here's the clue. All right, here is the clue. This is the saying from a very popular movie. Definitely widely known in Black culture. Okay. I'm going to give you a hint. Smokey, Big Worm, and Debo. So did y'all get it? I dropped 3 hints. This is a very popular saying from a very popular movie, which is a cult classic. Yes, the movie Friday, but you have to guess what the message was. I'm gonna hold it up again. I typed the letters into the chat. It's the same hashtag. Put a hashtag in front of it, but it's something that you say. And if you know, it's the movie Friday, so we guessed that part. You should know what this is. This is basically somebody's like, it's unbelievable that something like this could occur. That's what you would say when you like, really? You know, how did that happen? That's what it basically says. That's what basically it says. All right. So, oh God darn, Herman, you got it. How you gonna get fired on your day off? That's it. That's actually it. That's really it. Yep, that's it. How you get fired on your day off. Yep, that is it. That is it. That is it. All right, let's see. All right, we got a bonus round. Okay. All right. All right, this is for the bonus round. I see 18 of y'all in here. Hit the like button, please. Please let there be 18 likes at least when this podcast ends. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay. Take a look at these letters, okay? All right. Okay. The category is Black Twitter. I don't know if there's still a thing. All right. Category is Black Twitter. All right. This is something that you say. Okay. Oh, let me type the letters in. Let me type the letters first. Hold on 1 second. All right. It involves a group of people. And this is something somebody would say after a very funny comment. Or it's usually what we say when we really laughing at a group of people. We're in a group, and it's like, you know, why do we act like this? That's basically what it is. It's like, why do we act like this? Because we laughing at something. And typically in a comedy setting, somebody make a joke about one particular thing. I'm trying to think of a scene, and everybody just kind of look around at each other and laugh. I feel like y'all not gonna get this. It's another way of saying we all goofy. All right, I don't think y'all gonna get this. I don't think y'all gonna get this one. I will give you a minute to get it, but I don't think y'all gonna get it. Let's see. I think it's too. I might be the one that's in the error here, not giving the right clues. Okay, you know how they always say we funny, right? We make people laugh. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I gotta try to come up with a better clue. It's probably when we laughing at something we shouldn't be. That's the best way to say it. Like, we laughing at something we shouldn't be, or we making something, a situation funny. Okay. That's what I'm trying to basically say. Okay, I've typed the letters in there. All right. I typed the letters there so y'all could see. That way you could try to figure it out. It's in a setting where we will be laughing at something we probably should not be laughing at. All as a group. It could be like a thread. Imagine a thread, right? Where there's something that took place. And we as a people tend to shrug it off and start laughing like you know, I don't know what you thought, stuff like that. And then another person makes a joke, and then another person makes the joke, and it just goes on and on and on and on. And then somebody says, hey, Kia, what, Craig? On the last one, yeah. On this one, I think that's what it is. It's like, and again, it typically involves a group of us, and something has happened, right? And then let's say 5 black people, okay, and they all stand around minding their business. And let's say somebody walked by and on some ice and they fall, and they was rude to us 5 minutes before, then they go out there and fall. That's called karma, right? And then one person in the joke says something, and they just kind of look at the crowd and everybody just start laughing. Then another person in the group says something else that's funny, and then another person feeds off of that. And then somebody says, when it comes to us. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all what it is. Why are we like this? Why are we like this? This is what we say. This is what is said when a group of us are making fun of something or telling a joke, and one person just adds on and it feeds off it and it just keeps going. Why are we like this? So maybe that one was too hard. I don't know. D. Johnson is like, what? Why are we like this? That's it. All right, you know me. I'm gonna try to see if I can get my video to upload. Let's see. I don't know if I got it. Let's see if I can get it. So, okay, basically with the guy that I mentioned, Maxwell Harrison, nobody knew him, right? He's somebody I want to put on the watch list for the draft. So stay tuned for that. I didn't really have any cornerbacks when Travis decided, he wasn't going to work out. So this guy popped up because he was the fastest one. And I really looked at his highlights, and he actually did really good. So let me see if I can get the link and put it in the chat right now. And that way y'all can get it while we're still here. Yeah, I think I could do that. I wanted y'all to see the highlights he had with the ones that Will Shepherd was in. And it was so funny because it was like Shepherd, it was an incomplete pass. And I was thinking to myself, is that Will Shepherd? Sure enough, it was Will Shepherd when he was at Vanderbilt. That's the school. All right, let's see. Let me see highlights. Is this it? No, close. He has a lot of highlights out here. Let me see Kentucky versus Vanderbilt, because that's what it was. I don't know if that's it or not. I guess I'm just have to give y'all this one, but it was good. I'll just get this one. Okay, so I'm going to put this link into the chat so y'all can take a look. Nail game popping. Oh, thank you, Saeed. Thank you, Saeed. I tried. Okay, in the chat, I just dropped a link. I hope it was the right thing. Somebody click on it if you can. It should be, you might have to copy and paste it. It's the highlights to Maxwell Harrison versus Kentucky. The one I was looking for is when it was Kentucky versus Vanderbilt. When it was Will Shepherd versus Maxwell Harrison. And y'all know Maxwell Harrison just ran the fastest time at the combine, but y'all know Will Shepherd didn't get invited. So, but he's a Colorado Buff, so that's why we're talking about it. So I just thought it might be good for y'all to see that. I hope it's the right set of highlights. If somebody can copy and paste it, let me know. But check it out and let me know what y'all think. And thank you, Saeed. Nail game popping. I appreciate it. Yeah, I tried. And don't forget, we have memberships. We have a new member. I'm grateful. Thank you, Darlene. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and come back and hang out with us again. I will find that video. I will be live again tomorrow about the same time. Feel free to join us. If you can't join us tomorrow, we'll be here on Sunday. So we'll be right here. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight on game night. It was fun. We do have game nights on Friday. So usually every Friday, unless something transpires like breaking news or something. Tomorrow at the Combine is LaJonte and Jimmy Horn Jr. They should be running tomorrow. And Jimmy said he can't wait to get out there and run. I don't know what LaJonte's time is. I thought I heard Shedeur say he had his mama speed. That was hilarious. I thought they asked him if he had his dad's speed, and he said, no, I got my mama speed. I think that's what he said. So I just thought that was funny. If y'all heard that too, y'all let me know. And if I can get any more information on there, if I can get any information on any more behind the scenes, I'll post it. I'll just post it. It's just gonna have to be smaller clips because it can't be really, really big videos. So, all right, y'all. I guess we're gonna get ready to get out of here. We hit 1 hour and 12 minutes tonight. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate it. Stay tuned until tomorrow. So I'm gonna say good night. Thank y'all so much. And thank you, Darlene. Thank you for becoming a member. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll give everybody a minute to wrap up conversations. I know how y'all have conversations in the chat. So that's what I'll do. Good night. Good night, 22. Good night, Darlene. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good night, everybody.